Welcome to this week's episode of Amanda Makes a Mess. This week's video is a little bit different because instead of being a process video like I usually make, this is more of a series of vlogs. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen this. And if you have been watching my videos for a while, you've probably already seen this drawing. It was in my last sketchbook tour. This is sketchbook 12. I drew Wednesday Addams, and I decided I wanted to turn this drawing into a doll because the way I simplified her hands and her feet, her face, kind of everything, it made me think that this drawing would be a good reference for a rag doll. But then after a lot of trial and error, I couldn't make a pattern out of this drawing for a doll, so I bought this one on Amazon since the proportions looked pretty close to the drawing. And so this video is kind of a series of vlogs where I show you my progress and explain what I do in each one. So this is, like I said, this is a little different. Let me know in the comments if you like this style of video or not, because there will be at least one more. The doll isn't finished. I'm still working on it. So let me know if you like this or not. And I may do something like this again if anyone's interested. So let's get on with the video. For today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. A while back, about 2 months ago, but probably longer by the time you see this video, but now it was about 2 months ago. When I was doing daily drawings in sketchbook 12, I did this drawing of Wednesday Addams. And I thought it looked like a doll with the way I oversimplified her hands and feet. And as soon as I decided it looked like a doll, I really wanted to try to actually make this drawing into a doll. But I have never tried. I mean, I can sew. I'm just not very good at it. But I decided I wanted to turn this into a doll. So after a lot of trial and error and whining, let's be honest, there was a lot of whining, I gave up trying to make this an actual drawing into a pattern. And I just bought this sewing pattern from Amazon. Because the dolls that you can make with this pattern, in particular this one, have very similar proportions to my original drawing. Except the head to body ratio is a little off, but I can work with that. So I'm going to be making this doll in particular. It's A, because this pattern makes 4 dolls. And there's a lot of little pieces in this pattern. I've never tried any sewing projects this ambitious before, so we're gonna hope I can do this. It doesn't really look too hard. I think I can probably do it, but we'll see. So I've already cut out all of the pieces, and there's a lot of pieces here. But luckily, I think there's like 30-some pieces. But luckily, each doll does not use all the pieces. So I'm going to go through and pick out which ones doll A uses, which is, if I can find it, because I actually did read the instructions. Like, I never read instructions, but I had to this time. So these are the pieces, the list of the pieces, and which doll uses these pieces. Like the head front piece, all of them have that. The head back, hair front is A and B. Yeah, so the pieces that have an A listed after them are the ones I'm going to be using. Which, it seems pretty basic. I think I can manage to figure that out. And then I'm going to, if I can reach it from where I'm sitting, this piece is what I'm going to be using for her skin, for the doll's body. It's kind of an off-whitish color, because I think Wednesday Addams was pretty pale. Then this one is going to be for her dress. I originally got this one to make the collar and cuffs on her dress, but I think I'm also going to use this for her legs. And that way, because I can't find any black and white striped fabric with small enough stripes. So with this one, I can just make her legs and then color the stripes on with a Sharpie or a paint pen or some fabric paint or something. And I got this yarn here to use as her hair because it's really thin yarn, which I thought would probably be important. I'm not sure. I've never tried to make hair with yarn before. And that's about it. The pattern here shows like I think little beads or something on the doll's faces as eyes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just draw the same face she had in my drawing on. I haven't decided yet what I'll use for that. Probably, I'm thinking like a paint pen maybe, or just a Sharpie. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll sketch it in pencil first, obviously, because, yeah, I don't want to draw on this after I get it made and then mess it up and have to completely redo the whole thing. So, that's what I'm going to do. But since it's so late tonight, all I'm going to get done tonight is I'm going to sort out these pieces, pick out the ones that I'm going to need, and then I'm going to lay them on this fabric and trace it, and then, I'll get them cut out. And I will be back with an update as soon as I get that done. So, that's it for now, and I'll see you then. So, it's like an hour and a half later, and this was the most tedious and boring thing I have ever done in my life. Okay, so I traced around all the fabric pieces, or all the pattern pieces that were body parts, because that's what I'm making first. I'm making her body, then I'll make the dress. I traced around all the pattern pieces that were body parts, and that was a lot of pieces. And some of them I had to do more than once, because it needs like 4 legs, because it's the front and the back of 2 legs. So, here is all the head pieces. I have them together. I have them written on, but this is disappearing ink. It's supposed to disappear in 3 days. And the odds of me having this done in 3 days are not good. So, here is the pieces for the head. This is for the back of the body. They don't really look like much yet. Here is 4 legs, because apparently I'm creating some kind of weird 4-legged creature. Here's 4 arms as well, so I guess we're doing an octopus. And this is the front of the body. I've already got it pinned together the way it goes. And that's, well, okay, this is actually the 3rd step, because the pattern says, if I can get it open here with one hand. Okay, this, nope, not that page. This page. I'm actually reading and following instructions. Look at this. Okay, so the pattern, the first 2 steps here are related to the hair, but I'm doing the hair a different way than it says to do it here. I'm kind of going my own way with that. So I start on step 3. Stitch the front seam of the body. So that is this. I have to stitch the 2 pieces of the body together, but they have to be folded over like this, and I just stitch 1 line up through here. But my problem is that where you're supposed to stitch is marked on here. See this dotted line? That's where your stitches are supposed to go. But I have no markings on my fabric. I have never used a pattern before, and I have no idea how to get those markings from the pattern pieces onto my fabric. So at this point, I'm just winging it, I guess, with that. I mean, it's not, for the sewing part, it's not that hard. You can see how close to the edge is supposed to be sewed, and I can just sort of estimate how far away from the edge of the fabric the seam is supposed to go, or the line, or whatever it's called when you sew in a line up through a piece of fabric. Yeah, for this part at least I think that'll work, but there's like a few parts where it says match this dot with that dot, and I don't see any dots even on the tissue paper pattern pieces that I cut out. And then there's something called a darts and clipping curves, and honestly none of this makes any sense, and I'm going to have a lot of Googling to do tomorrow. But it is going on 3 a.m. and I am going to bed. So I will be back later in the morning and probably at this again. But I don't know if I'll show any of the actual sewing on camera, because I am sewing all this, everything, the whole dress, doll, body, hair, everything. I am sewing all of it by hand. I do have a sewing machine. Or, well, I am getting a sewing machine. I ordered it from Amazon. It hasn't come yet. But I'm scared of sewing machines because I'm very accident prone. And those needles are sharp and they move really fast. And my fingers just don't need to be around that. But I'm going to try it, just not on this. So yeah, I'm doing all this by hand, and it's going to be tedious and boring and long. So I'm probably not going to show any of it on video. I'll just do periodic updates with, this is where I am. This is what I've sewed. And I'll probably show at least each step that it shows in here. Or just do another update when it looks like I've made progress. I'm hoping to finish this by the whole thing, body, dress, hair, everything, by next week, when next week? Yeah, by the end of next week, because I have my work vacation next week, and I've got a couple art projects I want to do. So I will see you in the morning, or well, I guess later today, since it's almost 3 a.m. now. But for now, I am going to bed. So, as you can see, I did make a little progress since last time. A little bit. I mean, it looks like a snowman. But this is the head sewed onto the body, and both pieces of the front of the body are sewed together here. You can see that my stitches are not perfect, but they'll do. It's okay. And that's the body. Then the head up here kind of looks weird, but that's the way they showed to sew it on, so that's what I went with. I'm a little concerned that this so-called invisible ink is not going to turn invisible. It's supposed to turn invisible after like 3 days, but this is still pretty much the way it looked when I put it on there. I also discovered that if I use the invisible ink pen and like if I lay my pattern piece down here, that's backwards, but this is just an example, and I go over, oops, fingers, I go over these lines with enough pressure, it will push down enough to push the ink through the paper, and I can see where I'm supposed to stitch. So that's one problem solved. I'm still really concerned about this ink, like I said, actually turning invisible, because I don't know if it's going to do that or not. I'm also concerned that I may not be able to use this pattern to do the dress. I may just have to use this for the body and find something else for the dress. Because this is the doll I'm making here. And you can see that the cloth for her sleeves is sewn directly onto her arms. And the same with the top part of her body here. The only thing separate from her body is the skirt. So I'm a little concerned about that because I thought there was actually a pattern for the dress. I mean, there is for this one, but I don't like this dress because this dress looks more like Wednesday's, I think. And, I mean, obviously that's what I'm going for. So, I may end up needing another pattern for that. But, I'm going to wait until I finish putting her body together to do anything about that. So yeah, that's about it. This whole thing, I've only had about half an hour to work on this today before I went to work because I got up late and I had to go to work. But this was really easy. I know it's not perfect, but it's taking considerably less time than I thought it would. I think if I had a day off to devote to nothing but this, I could probably get this whole body done in a day. Because the sewing isn't taking very long. What was taking the longest, I think, is cutting out all these little pattern pieces. Because that was kind of a nightmare. But my next step here, I'm going to have to deviate from what it says to do again. But my next step should be number 4. Press under 1/4 inch on lower edge of sleeve. On outside pin sleeve to arm. Match small and large dots having raw edges even. Stitch close to pressed edge, base to raw edges together. Since I'm not sewing her sleeve directly onto her arm, I can skip that step. And I want to come down here where it says stitch arm sections together, matching small and large dots, leaving ends open, clip curves. I still haven't figured out what clipping curves is, but maybe I'll figure that out eventually. So at the moment, I'm going to sew the front and back pieces of both arms together, and I guess leave the one end open, probably the end that connects to her body, I think. And I guess I do that with both arms, and then probably stuff it. So, I probably won't get that done tonight, because it's after 1 a.m. now. So, maybe tomorrow, before I get that done. Don't know if I'll update tomorrow or not. And that's it for this video. I will see you later when I have some progress to show. Bye! So, I am back for, I think this is day 3. This should be day 3. I've not made a lot of progress today because I had to work, but I did get one arm completely sewn together. It's not as small here as it looks. For some reason, this fabric here it wants to turn in on itself, but I think when I sew it on and when I get it stuffed, it'll be okay. I do have the other one pinned together. I have most of it sewn up to here. I've just got this from that purple, the head of the purple pin up to the edge to finish. Then the next step is to stuff the arms. But I'm not going to do that tonight because it is 12:26 a.m., so it's a little after midnight. I don't want to get my fiber fill out this late because I feel like that could be a big mess. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow. I'm off work tomorrow, so I should be able to get quite a bit of progress done, I think. I'd like to get to the point that I can attach some of the body parts to the body, like the arms and legs. My next step, according to the instructions, is, let's see, I think we are on 5. Stitch arm sections together, matching small and large dots, which I don't have, but they turned out pretty good anyway. Leaving end open, clip curves. I'm still not sure what that means, but I mean, mine turned out okay, I think. Maybe it's something to do with making this lay flat. I don't know. Then here the next instruction is turn arm right side out, stuff arm firmly, placing less fiber fill at opening. But I'm not going to do this tonight. I will get to that tomorrow because, like I said, I don't want to get my fiber fill out. Then here, I'm going to run into trouble here. The first time I cut the shoes out, I accidentally cut them out of the wrong fabric. I cut them out of the skin tone fabric. I needed to redo them and make them black. And then it says you've cut 4 leg sections, 2 are for the front and 2 are for the back. On the outside, pin shoe front to leg front, matching notches. Stitch close to inner curved edge of the shoe front. So I have to figure out what the inner curved edge of the shoe front actually is. The base draw edges together. I think that would be the outside edges. Then this ribbon. I'm not going to do this ribbon. When I'm done, I'm going to use fabric paint to just paint the bows on her shoes. Because I don't have any ribbon that small, and I really don't want to buy a whole thing of ribbon just to get a little piece. So that's just going to be painted on. I don't have to worry about that. And the base into the ribbon, I don't have to do that. Apply shoe back to leg back in the same manner. So it looks like what I have to do next when I finish this arm here, which I'll definitely be able to do tonight, is cut out her shoes, because I am doing doll A, so that's the one with the shoes as opposed to the boots. So it looks like I have to cut out her shoes and just stitch them onto her legs. So that looks easy enough. So I have my friend Monster here to help me. Don't look at the mess behind it. I'm cleaning up some art supplies to donate and made a mess. So I guess that's all for this video, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with a bigger update, since I will have more time tomorrow to work on this since I have the day off. I actually have 2 days off, so I may be able to get a lot of progress done. So I will see you then, and goodbye for now. So this is, I think, day 4. I did not get as much done as I wanted to because I had to go shopping to get some craft supplies that I'm actually using now. I got this arm that really, honestly, does not look a whole lot like an arm. I got it stuffed and sewed together at the top. This arm does not feel quite as full. I got the rest of this one sewed together and stuffed it, sewed the top shut. The biggest problem I had with these was after they were sewed together, I had to turn them right side out. And that's the biggest problem I had with these. I finally managed it with a paintbrush and a pair of tweezers. This leg, I've put the whole leg together with the shoe on, which it kind of looks more like a hoof than a shoe, I think. So yeah. And then I stuffed that, sewed it together, and messed it up. Because this part here, you can't really see that. Okay, we'll move it on to something white. This part here was actually supposed to be sewed down to the foot before I sewed the leg together. But somehow I managed to not read that part of the instructions. Same with the back. but I'm just going to get some fabric glue and glue that down. It should be okay. Then I'm going to, when I'm completely finished, I'll use some fabric paint. If I have black fabric paint, I might have to get that. I'll use some fabric paint. If you would focus, there we go. I'll use some fabric paint to paint, like a ribbon or a strap or something across here, and I might put a bow in the middle of it. So that I think that will make it look more like a shoe and less like a hoof. And I got some new scissors. These are actually fabric scissors. They can't get open. They're really nice, really sharp. They cut fabric so much better than my other ones. But I'm kind of afraid I'm going to chop my finger off with them. So I think that's about it. That's all I finished today. It's not that late. It's only, I don't even think it's 10 o'clock yet. So I'm probably going to go ahead and sew the other leg, then stuff it. And that's probably where I'll quit. I'm also off work tomorrow, but I don't know how much I'll get finished because I have to go grocery shopping. Tomorrow's my last grocery shopping trip before Easter. So, and then I have to edit video for this week's YouTube video. I have a little bit more of that to edit. So I may not get anything on this done tomorrow, but we'll see. I will update you then, and goodbye for now. So, I'm a little disappointed with my progress today. I still have the 2 arms done. All I managed to do today was do this, finish sewing the second leg and fill it. Because today was my last grocery shopping trip before Easter. And, I got up late, so that took me longer than I thought it was going to. But, the next step, this should actually start to look like a doll, because in the next step I'll be attaching the back of the head to the front of the head and stuffing it, then attaching all these limbs to the body and stuffing the body and sewing it shut. So it shouldn't take me much longer, but tomorrow I don't know if I'll have any time to work on this because I have to work tomorrow, and after work I have to do the voiceover for my YouTube video so I can get it uploaded on Saturday. I'm off work Saturday, but Saturday I'm going to be probably doing stuff to get ready for Easter. I have some stuff I have to bake ahead of time, but if I have time, I'm definitely going to be working on this. Then Sunday is Easter, so it's going to be late in the day before I get started on it. At least one of the next 3 days, I may end up not having a video. But, I don't know what day that'll be, if it actually does happen. So, yeah, not much to say tonight. I guess that's about it. I will probably maybe see you tomorrow. If not, it'll be the day after. So, hopefully I will make some more progress soon. So, goodbye for now. So, that's it for this week's video. I cannot show you the completed doll, because she's not finished. And I have actually done a lot more work on her since, the last part of the video. All I have left to do is one side of her hair and her dress. But that will be in part 2 of this series, which will probably be the last part because I'm almost done. And, I guess that's all for today. Let me know if you like this style of video. I may do it again in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, anything. All of it help me out. And, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching if you've watched this far, and goodbye.